Regent Seven Seas touts itself as the world's most luxurious cruise line, and it's easy to see why when you step on board the newest ship in its 5-ship fleet, the Seven Seas Splendor. Elegant crystal chandeliers, miles of Italian marble, a $5 million art collection including multiple Picassos, and custom Versace plates in the main dining room. These are only a few reasons why the Splendor is truly an exquisite vessel.
Join us now for a full ship tour of all the public areas on the Splendor, here on Calling All Ports.
Delivered in 2020, the Splendor is considerably larger than Regent's trio of older ships, the Navigator, Mariner, and Voyager, and nearly identical in size to its sister ship, the Explorer, which was launched in 2016. And it's also very close in size to the soon-to-be-launched Grandeur. Nevertheless, at just over 55,000 gross tons, 735 feet long, and 102 feet wide, the Splendor is relatively compact and retains the small ship experience that fans of the all-inclusive luxury line expect. As a point of comparison, Norwegian's newer Prima ship is 142,500 tons, almost 1,000 feet long, and 131 feet wide. The Splendor really is the perfect combination of large and small. It only takes a few minutes to walk from any one point to another in the ship, and it never feels crowded. With 373 guest cabins and a full capacity of 746 guests, plus 548 crew members, giving the Splendor close to a 1-to-1 crew-to-passenger ratio. And yet the ship still offers numerous entertainment venues, recreation areas, and bars and restaurants across its 13 decks. Even on a 2-week-long cruise like our itinerary from Miami to Los Angeles through the Panama Canal, we never got bored.
The medical center and the tender gangways are located down on Deck 3. This is where you'll exit and re-enter the ship on most excursion days. However, Deck 4 is the lowest level of the ship that's fully accessible to guests, and so we'll begin our tour here on Deck 4. The heart of the Splendor's indoor public areas is the atrium, which spans Decks 4 and 5. At the base of the atrium's imperial staircase are the casino and the Splendor Lounge. Deck 4 is also where the all-important main dining room Compass Rose is located. Positioned midship and sprawling back towards the aft, Compass Rose is a large, bright, and beautifully designed space. Regent calls Compass Rose the largest specialty restaurant at sea, though in all practical terms, it is the Splendor's main dining room. Its large windows, muted decor, and elegant seating arrangements make for a wonderful place to have breakfast or dinner. And as we describe in our full dining guide video, the cuisine here is first-rate. For more on Compass Rose, please check out the dining guide video here on our channel. The link is in the description below.
Just forward of Compass Rose are the Splendor Lounge and the casino. The Splendor Lounge is a nice-sized bar and performance space. It's a good spot to grab a pre-dinner or late-night cocktail, and most nights there'll be a vocal and guitar duo playing a mix of pop and rock songs, both in the pre- and post-dinner hours. We particularly enjoyed it when the entertainment staff hosted karaoke here in the Splendor Lounge. They'd only host karaoke every 3rd or 4th night, but whenever they did, it was good fun.
Directly across from the Splendor Lounge is a casino. There's not a lot to this casino, only about a dozen slot machines and a few table games. Very simple, but it does the trick. out of our 10-member travel party, the 6 of us who gambled in the casino all walked away with some money in our pockets. That certainly doesn't happen every cruise. The casino's a good spot for the more casual gambler at sea.
The real gem of this deck is the atrium. This interior open air space is on the smaller side, only rising 2 decks, albeit topped by a narrow shaft that rises vertically to skylights at the very top of the ship. Nevertheless, the Splendor's atrium is absolutely gorgeous. A majestic imperial staircase, an exquisite crystal and gold chandelier. This is one of the spots where Regent's ultra luxury qualities truly shine. And since we sailed on Regent during the holidays, we found this area to be beautifully decorated for the winter holidays, including being a perfect venue for Christmas carols and even a visit from Santa. The base of the atrium is also the location for many of the boardwalk-style games hosted by the ship's entertainment team. Golf putting, dart ball, top toss, carpet darts, crazy golf, and such. Also on this deck, just forward of the atrium, are the boutiques. The shops are small on Regent. They consist of only these 2 compact spaces here on deck 4, and we personally didn't visit the shops during our trip, apart from stopping in for a scavenger hunt clue and to meet the guest entertainment Jesse Hamilton Jr. after one of his performances.
And that's the other occupant of Deck 4, the Constellation Theater, which is Splendor's main entertainment venue. The lower level of the Constellation Theater is here on Deck 4, and just like the atrium, it is a 2-deck space that rises up to Deck 5. In addition to the main nightly production shows and guest entertainers, the Constellation Theater hosts enrichment talks and movies during the daytime. And it's a gathering point for excursions too. The venue's design style evokes the 20s and 30s, with an attractive modern sleekness and Art Deco accents. The space features unobstructed sightlines from any seat in the house, which is great. The velvet seating is both stylish and comfortable. And while the drink tables give the theater a lounge-like vibe and they're a nice feature for those lucky enough to get one, the mix of banquettes fronted by a row of chairs with tables makes for an awkward seating configuration that is nearly impossible to navigate when the theater's crowded. And you'll have to hope that you like your neighbors, as you'll be sitting quite close to them during the show. And since the tables are fixed to the floor, it's difficult for most people to get in and out of their seats when anyone else is in the row.
Heading up to Deck 5, this is the single largest public space on the Splendor, open to all guests from bow to stern. Forward on Deck 5 is the second tier of the Constellation Theater. Moving backwards, directly outside the entrance to the Constellation Theater is the forward stairwell. There are 2 main stairwells on the Splendor that go from top to bottom of the ship. The first one's here, and the other one is about 2/3 of the way back toward the stern. I'll point out here on Deck 5 are also a pair of the larger public restrooms on the Splendor. And these public washrooms are some 5-star hotel level high-end elegance. As you work your way backwards on Deck 5, you come to the second level of the atrium and the massive crystal chandelier. This is the hub of Splendor's daily business operations. It's where you'll find the main gangway on our embarkation and disembarkation days. And it's also the location of the guest services area with the reception and concierge desks, the destination services desk for excursion planning, the cruise consultant and restaurant reservations, the general manager's office, and the business center. We found that these spots were never crowded, and so if you needed help at guest services or needed to make a specialty restaurant reservation, you rarely had to wait more than a minute or two to get assistance. There's also lots of open seating here in the reception area, making it a great spot to sit and read on a sea day or meet up with other guests.
Starting at the atrium and running more than half the length of the ship on Deck 5 is a large Concourse-style corridor. Moving from the reception area towards the back, you next come to an area with coffee connection on the port side and Meridian Lounge on the starboard side. Regent describes the coffee connection space as chic metropolitan cafe, though I think it reads more like a premium hotel restaurant. Coffee connection offers self-serve hot and cold beverages, an array of snacks throughout the day, and also barista counter service. Of course, Regent is an all-inclusive cruise line, so everything here is free. Practice that self-control. Coffee Connection is a great space to get some reading done while drinking a cappuccino or having a quick bite, especially in those in-between hours when the other restaurants and buffets are closed. There's also a promenade that runs around the exterior of most of Deck 5, though it stops at the Constellation Theater, and so there's no outdoor access to the bow of the ship. There's a nice little seating area here outside Coffee Connection where you can enjoy your coffee with some sea air and sunshine, when the weather cooperates.
In the concourse area across from Coffee Connection, there's some additional seating along with a couple large puzzle tables, a classic cruise pastime. Those sit directly outside the Meridian Lounge, which is one of 3 distinct lounge spaces on board the Splendor, the others being the Splendor Lounge down on Deck 4 and the Observation Lounge up on Deck 11. The Meridian Lounge is where the Splendor entertainment team hosts regular games of bingo during the day. It's also where afternoon tea is served every day at 4 p.m. And afternoon tea is a big ordeal on Regent ships. It's definitely one of the best cruise ship afternoon teas that I've had the opportunity to enjoy. But the one drawback is that the Meridian Lounge is not a big enough space for the event. Particularly on specialty days like when they had fresh crepes being made to order, the room was kind of chaotic. It was among the only times on the entire voyage that the ship seemed crowded. Putting that minor complaint aside, at night the Regent Signature Orchestra would take over the Meridian Lounge, playing a variety of repertory music options.
As you continue back towards the stern on the port side, you come upon one of Splendor's specialty restaurants, Pacific Rim. This Asian fusion restaurant, my personal favorite, is always an attention getter with the stunning dragon sculpture sitting in the middle of the restaurant's entrance. However, it doesn't stop there at the door. The entire restaurant features gorgeous design. It's large and inviting space. And the food is superb. Again, please check out our review of Pacific Rim's cuisine in our Splendor Full Dining Guide video. Link in the description below.
All the way in the aft of Deck 5 is where you can find the Serene Spa and Wellness Center. You can get the usual salon treatments and facials, massages, body wraps, and whatnot here. While we're personally not big on the extra pay health and beauty stuff that's offered on cruises, we did actually find the Serene Spa to be one of our favorite spots on the ship because of the infinity plunge pool that sits right at the stern of the ship. As part of the Serene Spa, there's also a sauna, aromatherapy steam room, hot stone loungers, a cold therapy room, and an experience shower. And the usual gendered locker rooms, showers, etc. Again, one of the welcome benefits of Regent being an all-inclusive line is that access to these spa features like the sauna is free. Whereas on many cruise lines, you'd have to purchase an expensive day pass to use their thermal suite. For us, Serene Spa's infinity pool was a hidden gem. It was practically a private space. We were often there for long periods of time and only ever saw a couple other guests. And we really enjoyed the heated aromatherapy room too. Deck 6 mostly features guest suites. However, in the stern of the ship, the fitness center sits directly above the Deck 5 Serene Spa and Wellness. They're connected by this spiral staircase area that is honestly one of the most stylish and sophisticated bits of interior decor on the entire ship. It's kind of bizarre that this opulent space is hidden away in the Splendor's gym. Regardless, the fitness center up on Deck 6 is a large, bright space. Divided into two main sections that span the entire stern of the ship, plus a studio for instructor-led fitness classes, which are also free. The equipment here is all new and high-end, and there's a decent amount and variety of machines, especially considering the small size of the ship. It's a top-notch gym with exceptional views of the ship's wake, and we never saw it overcrowded. Even at its busiest, there was still plenty of open machines.
As Andrew mentioned, apart from the fitness center, Deck 6 features mostly guest suites. Everything from the 219 square foot entry-level veranda suite to the larger penthouse with a separate living room and large spacious balcony. Deck 7 through 9 are all suite decks. And apart from our cabin on Deck 8, we did not spend too much time on these levels. The suites are accessible by stairs or one of two banks of elevators. Make sure to check out the description below for a link to our Superior Suite cabin tour if you would like a peek into the guest suites aboard the Regent Seven Seas Splendor. And while you're at it, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate your support.
Heading up towards the top of the ship, Deck 10 features guest suites in the bow and midship with a pair of specialty restaurants in the aft. Prime 7 and Chartreuse are in the stern with some of the best views on the ship. These restaurants are absolutely gorgeous spaces, interior design-wise. Prime 7 is Splendor's classic American steakhouse, and the walls are full of stunning artwork, including paintings by Picasso and Miró. Chartreuse is the modern French fine dining restaurant. Specialty dining is always included in Regent's cruising fare, so you'll want to check out these eateries for sure. And some of the largest suites are located on this level, as well as the Study, which is a private dining room that is situated in the aft between the Prime 7 and Chartreuse restaurants, though it's reserved for those staying in the Regent Suite, and hence we weren't able to get a view of it, unfortunately.
For the main food options, Deck 11 is where it's at. This deck has a large variety of food, drink, and entertainment options, starting with La Veranda at the back of the ship. La Veranda is a breakfast and lunch buffet, a bright space that includes a wonderful outdoor patio seating area across the stern of the ship. La Veranda transforms itself into the specialty Italian restaurant Sette Mari at night. And while we definitely preferred the outdoor area, it could get very sunny, and at times there was also fierce competition for the limited seats, which is something to keep in mind as you head out into that area. Nevertheless, there are plenty of indoor seating options too. We always found ourselves a seat, often right along the floor-to-ceiling windows with a stunning ocean view. In addition to La Veranda is the Pool Grill. The Pool Grill offers lunch options that remain available after La Veranda shuts down at 2 p.m., which is very welcome. It's also occasionally open for dinner, though the schedule is inconsistent. There's a self-service hot and cold drink station here in the Pool Grill area, as well as a full-service ice cream station. But of course, the big draw on Deck 11 is a pool and hot tub area. Even sailing during the winter holidays on a full-capacity ship, we never found the pool too crowded. There's also a large array of sun chairs and loungers here at the pool, though those always were hard to come by since luxury cruise lines aren't immune to greedy cruise chair hogs either.
There's a pool bar in one corner of the forward part of the pool area. And at this end of the pool, the deck serves double duty as a stage for events like the Sail Away Party. And on our winter holiday cruise, this is where Regent had its big New Year's Eve bash, which we'll show you in a future video. So subscribe and hit the notifications bell to get that video when it drops. In the other corner of the pool area is an enclosed smoking area, and I really have to hand it to Regent for giving smokers a dedicated space that's so well isolated from the rest of the ship. There's also a culinary arts kitchen here on the starboard side of Deck 11, where chefs give cooking demonstrations and teach culinary classes. Those classes are among the few things on Regent that are extra pay, and we didn't have an opportunity to participate in any of those on-board activities. Moving forward, also on the starboard side, is the library, which is a large, comfortable, absolutely stunning space. The library has an outstanding book collection. Someone was given an ample spending account to go shopping for high-end art, design, and history books from the likes of Rizzoli and Taschen. Plus, there's plenty of travel books and your popular fiction titles. It's quiet, of course, and there are numerous secluded spots to sit and read or work on a laptop. This is another spot on the ship that's packed with extraordinary pieces of modern art, both paintings and sculptures.
On the port side of Deck 11, there are a couple small special purpose rooms. First is the Connoisseur Club, which is a cigar lounge, the other designated smoking area on the Splendor. Next is the card room, which is a nicely stocked game room with multiple professional card tables. And as you move past those two rooms to the front of Deck 11, you pass through this impressive light sculpture hallway feature and into the beautiful Observation Lounge. This is obviously the forward-facing bar at the front of the ship. It sits directly atop the bridge, which is on Deck 10 and closed to the public. The Observation Lounge is a very large open space with 180 degrees of floor-to-ceiling windows. Regent describes it as having an English garden design aesthetic, which honestly I didn't pick up on, though it does have a nice flower motif and a bright large color palette. We spent a lot of time here, including a solid half-day stay as we transited through the Panama Canal. Alongside the Constellation Theater, Compass Rose, La Veranda, and the pool, the Observation Lounge is one of the most vibrant social spaces on the ship. There are people around from morning to night. It is a location of numerous onboard activities, including the very popular afternoon trivia competition. And it's also the best spot to get a post-dinner cocktail on the Splendor, and it's where the ship's resident cocktail pianist performs nightly, the masterful Gino De Luca.
At the very top of the ship on Deck 12 is the sports deck and sun deck, plus the jogging track which loops around most of the ship. Though like the promenade down on Deck 5, the jogging track cuts off before the bow. This time, all the real estate at the front of the ship is given over to some of the super high-end suites. In fact, the very top deck, which is Deck 14, is a suite-only area. There are 11 suites in total, including the largest Regent suite. The sun deck wraps around the pool on Deck 11 below, featuring lots of plush, cushioned lounge chairs, plus a number of the giant round patio daybeds. The sports deck is very nicely appointed, full of recreational activities, including your classic country club style cruise games, bocce, croquet, cornhole, or beanbag toss, or simply bags. I spent a number of years living in the Midwest, and bags is the game's correct name, if you ask me. There's a paddle, tennis, pickleball court. Plus a rather substantial mini golf putting green and a golf net for driving practice. Though our absolute favorite is shuffleboard, we spent a good many hours up here playing some heated shuffleboard matches with the family.
Regent Seven Seas Splendor is a small, tidy ship, but one that has a lot to offer. We were on the Splendor for 16 nights, and not once did we feel like there was nothing to do. Of course, we had our favorite activities and favorite spots: the observation lounge, infinity pool, sports deck. However, we utilized nearly all the public areas of the ship on a daily basis. So much so that we were rarely in our suite or on our balcony. And it was a nice cabin, so it took a lot to pull us away from it.
Being an all-inclusive, ultra-luxury cruise line, Regent is certainly more expensive than the majority of cruise lines in the market. Yet, this is a case of actually getting what you pay for. Service was generally top-notch, the food is ultra-premium, the amenities were spectacular. Regent actually lives up to its claim of being the world's most luxurious cruise line, and the Seven Seas Splendor is the pinnacle of its fleet. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do us a favor and hit the like button and leave a comment if you've cruised on the Splendor or plan to soon. Also, being a new YouTube channel, subscribers really help us grow and enable us to keep making these videos. So if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Calling All Ports. Until next time.